Hi guys, Darth Deuces here, back on our Star Wars The Vintage Collection figure review. Today taking a look at the brand new Star Wars Jedi Survivor Cal Kestis from the upcoming game Jedi Survivor, which is a sequel to Jedi Fallen Order, which came out I think in 2019, so it's been a number of years now. It's kind of hard to believe. But I really, honestly, really loved the first game. Jedi Fallen Order was really great. I got to go back and replay it here sometime soon. And the sequel was going to release soon, but they pushed it back a little bit. But yeah, I was really looking forward to this figure. There's a Black Series one coming out as well, which I'll probably get. But I'm a really big fan of Cal as a character from really liking the game. I just really grew to really like the character. And he's probably one of my favorite Jedi characters. Really cool. But anyways, taking a look first at the packaging he comes in is the Vintage Collection, card back we're used to seeing, but this had the Jedi Survivor tag on there, Cal Kestis, the figure, and a really nice image of Cal from the upcoming game. Piece of artwork there, I think looks really good. So if you're a mint on card collector, I think this is a really cool one to have. And then just some other releases that are coming out or have come out. There's some Obi-Wan stuff. There's the new Mando, Luke Skywalker coming out, the Artillery Stormtrooper, Vel from Andor, which I actually saw in stores, but I passed. I don't think I'm going to get any of the Andor figures except for maybe Cassian. But yeah, that is pretty much it for the card back. So I'm going to crack this guy open and we will take a closer look. All right, now I have Cal out of the packaging, and this is a really well done figure. A lot of really great stuff going on here, really solid. So I'm really happy with it. It is hard to say whether it's accurate to the game or not because the game isn't out yet, but at least from the artwork and images we've seen, it does look accurate to at least this specific outfit, which I assume will be his default outfit. Because I do know they're going to have some outfit customization. I don't know to what extent, but yeah. But I really like the design that they did go with for Cal here in the new game. I think he's a bit older. And instead of just wearing that the Brocca Scrapper uniform throughout the whole game, he is kind of wearing stuff that is just more like actual just normal clothes, which is kind of cool. But I do like how the vest he's wearing still kind of has some of those design elements that his poncho and jacket kind of had in the first game, with those dark navy blues and a little bit of orange there on the shoulder, which I think looks good. Looking at the head sculpt, I think the sculpt's really nice, and I think the face print's pretty good. I think it looks a lot more accurate to the actor who did the motion capture than the original Black Series figure did way back when. I will say the expression of the figure, he looks a little stunned. I'll be honest, like he's surprised or something because of the way the eyes are printed. This comes off as kind of being a bit wide-eyed, but overall I think it looks pretty good. I like the hair sculpt. Paint's pretty basic, but it does got a little bit of additional coloring in there to kind of bring out some of the details, which I think is cool. And I like how the facial hair looks. He's got a bit of stubble, just a bit of a short beard going on, and it looks pretty good. It doesn't look like just splotched paint on it. I think they did a pretty good job conveying that light bit of facial hair, which I think is good. The rest of the figure is painted and sculpted really nicely as well for the most part. I would say the orange on the shoulder is a little sloppy, but it's not too bad. The brown a bit sloppy on the back of the strap here, which is a bit unfortunate. But again, I don't know, it's not too bad. It's barely noticeable if I'm being honest. He's got his belt here with his holster. Got this little metallic painted brace on his forearm there, which is kind of cool. Pants are pretty simple. Got some pockets sculpted. And the boots, which look good as well. But again, nothing too much to talk about. It's a pretty, simple design, honestly. But I think it is executed very well. And I do like how the number here that they put on all their figures, they did it in a really dark color on a dark pair of pants, so it's really tough to see it. I like that as well. A little detail that's nice that they did. In terms of articulation, he's got all the modern 3 1/4 inch Vintage Collection articulation. You got that dumbbell joint in the neck. You can look up just a little bit, looks down a little bit, pivots okay, and he rotates. It is a bit more limited than I would have expected, if I'm being honest, but it's not too bad. Hinges in the shoulders that go full 90, they rotate all the way. Single hinges in the elbows that move a bit past 90, which is good, and then rotate. And you have swivels at the wrist as well as vertical hinges on both wrists, which is awesome because for a lightsaber wielder and a pistol wielder, those are the hinges you want to see on your figure. It does have a waist joint. You can get a good swivel. I don't know if it's a ball joint or not. If it is a ball joint, you're getting no up and down motion because of the sculpt of the vest, but you do get good rotation there. The new style ball hinge or ball jointed hips Move pretty good. The hip with the holster actually isn't hindered at all when doing the splits. I will say it is hindered maybe a little bit kicking forward, but it's not too bad. Swivel cuts at the thighs are good. Single hinges at the knees go about 90. I guess it would have been kind of nice if they went a bit deeper, but it's not a big deal. And then he has hinges in the ankles that go up a bit, go down a lot, and then they do pivot very well. So really good articulation. You can get this guy in a lot of good poses for whatever your display needs are. In terms of accessories, it comes with a decent amount of accessories as well. First off, he does come with a blaster, which is a new thing for this character. He didn't have a blaster in the first game. I'm pretty interested to see how they work gunplay into the new game. But pretty simple sculpt. There's not a whole lot of detail on this gun. It does have a little bit of brown paint for the grip and just gray plastic for the rest. But I do like the design. It comes off very Old West gunslinger revolver kind of style, which is always the type of blasters I always like figures to have. And you can hold it in his left hand is his, I would say, the preferred hand to do this. The left hand is a trigger hand, and the right hand's a more traditional grip hand for his lightsaber. But he holds that in the hand. Looks pretty good. You know, if you fiddle with the articulation a bit, you can probably get it looking a bit better. There you go. But I think that looks pretty good. And that can be stored in the holster. It slots in there nice and securely. That's not falling out at all. And also it's not a pain to take it out, so that's really good. Of course, mentioning his lightsaber, he does come with his lightsaber. Very nice new sculpt, which looks good. Similar to his lightsaber in the first game, except for it looks like it's been sized to better fit his hand, which I think is super cool. The first lightsaber was his master's, and he was a bigger alien, so this makes a lot more sense. Nice blue translucent blade, nice silver paint with some darker gray gunmetal-y kind of paint on the grip there, the hilt, which is very nice. Oops. And best to hold that in the right hand there. Goes in super easily, grips it very well, looks very good, but you can get two-handed poses with this guy, no problemo whatsoever. Really easy to do, just pretty simple, but yeah, looks really good. He also comes with an unlit hilt with a peg, which is super cool to see because I feel like they have been doing this a lot less lately, not including unlit lightsaber hilts, but they did with this guy, which is great. And he does have a hole on the belt, so you can peg that in. It goes in easily, pretty securely, and that looks good as well. And then last but not least, they do actually include BD1, your little droid companion in the game. I think he is really nicely sculpted and painted. Lots of nice paint details, which I think look really good. Really nice that they did that. Sculpted very well, and does have a bit of articulation. You have a ball joint at the neck, so you can get him looking up and down and pivoting and rotating. And then you do have ball joints at the little shoulder spots, I guess, which basically just go forward and back. Not much else you can do. That's all the articulation he has. If I'm being honest, all the articulation he really needs. It would have been pretty crazy if they implemented hinge joints in a figure this small. But very cool they include him. Unfortunately, or I don't know how he's going to attach to him in the game, I guess, but in the first game anyways, he would usually perch on his shoulder. There's no like engineered way for you to do this. If you can figure out something on your own, then that's great. But yeah, there's not really any way you can actually get BD1 to be on Cal's back or anything. So you're just going to have him standing beside him or doing whatever you want. But yeah, good array of accessories. I can't really complain, especially considering we don't know if he uses anything else in the game or not. So yeah, very cool. That's pretty much all there's to talk about. I guess lastly, you can do some comparisons. There's really not a whole lot to compare with because, like I said, there hasn't been they didn't do a Cal for the first game in Vintage Collection, 3 3/4 inch scale. They only ever did a Black Series. But I guess speaking of, here is the Black Series one. So you can kind of see the design differences. And I never thought the Black Series head sculpt was terrible or anything, but the 3 3/4 inch, the new 3 3/4 inch one is so much better. Honestly, the Black Series one looks like nothing like the actor, like at all, honestly. It doesn't look anything like him. But this one does a lot. Looks a lot better, so that's really good. And you can see the design differences and all that jazz. So there's that if you're curious about it. And then I guess just for fun, here are some enemies from the first game that may or may not be in the new game. I have no idea. But here's the relatively recently released Game and Greats Heavy Assault Stormtrooper, I think it was called. I don't remember. I think that's what it's called. So he stands about the same height as the Stormtrooper, which I assume makes sense. And then here he is with the Purge Trooper from the first game, which was also a Game and Greats that they did. He stands about the same, maybe a little taller. I have him in a Christian, but they look all pretty good together. No idea if these guys are gonna be in the game or not, but who knows? But yeah, overall, really great release, really solid. Vintage Collection just keeps releasing super solid releases when they're brand new sculpts, anyways. And this is a great one. If you are a fan of the game, and especially if you're strictly a 3 and 3/4 inch collector and you've been waiting for a Cal Kestis to be released, you finally got your Cal Kestis, and it's a really, really good one. So I would highly recommend picking this one up. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. Let me know what you think down in the comments below, and may the Force be with you.